Lifetime Achievement Award. Unfortunately, Murphy couldn't make it, but he has made a video for us accepting the award, and then we'll hear from his colleagues, David Mathis and Brian Wind, following the video, and they'll accept on his behalf.
Thank you, Erin. This year, Dr. Murphy Thomas has been recognized by TPA for his many years of dedication to the profession of psychology, and by extension to the citizens of Tennessee with the TPA Lifetime Achievement Award. To let you know a little something about him, I will highlight a few of Dr. Thomas's, or Murphy, as we talk about him, accomplishments. He was TPA's first legislative affairs officer. He was a leader in the freedom of choice law that was passed in 1976, so psychologists got paid for their services by insurance companies. Now, for those of you who struggle with managed care, you may not think that was a blessing, but we are grateful to him for putting us on par with all the other healthcare providers. He has advocated for community mental health centers. He was active in resolving the conflict over the big C, little c crisis, which nobody knows what that means. It's clinical psychology versus counseling psychology, that some insurance companies did not want to pay for the services of licensed counseling psychologists. And he and a small group of psychologists, including Dr. Norman Stevenson, traveled around the state advocating for doing away with the distinction by these insurance companies. This crisis was settled because the Board of Examiners agreed, and that led us to ultimately receiving health service provider designation. Murphy was key in resolving the rift between the TPA and the TAPE and helping to bring us under the single organization of TPA. He has served in board positions for TPA and APA, too many to name. For many years, he taught a course on preparing for the jurisprudence exam in Tennessee, and many of you took this course and found passing the exam a much easier task. His most recent accomplishment was the establishment of the Tennessee Colleague Assistance Foundation with Dr. Brian Wind. Murphy is a true Southern gentleman, and according to Lance Lawrence, a true statesman who can see an issue from all sides. And while he is congenial and diplomatic, he is also willing to take a stand against something that he believes will hurt the profession. Murphy is traveling in Europe with his family and unable to be here. However, before he left for Europe over the weekend, he sat down with one of his close friends and mentees and had a conversation about this award and recorded the appreciation for this recognition. We will play that in a moment. When I solicited endorsements from psychologists who know Murphy, I received responses that not only highlighted the many professional accomplishments, I also received some of the most powerful statements about Murphy's commitment to nurturing young professionals, his commitment to mentor them in their early career, and his unfailing support of them. These testimonials were moving letters of love and gratitude to Murphy and all he has done for them and with them throughout their careers. Two of those men are here today to accept the award on Murphy's behalf. They are Dr. Brian Wind and Dr. David Mathis. Please join me in welcoming them.
When we sat down to do the video, Murphy began reminiscing and rambled off, I shouldn't say rambled, shared various stories. And those of you who know him, he can tell a good story, most of which is true. And the stories really revolved around relationships. And I think that's been reflected again in what Kerry had to say. Murphy is greatly appreciative, and I am personally appreciative to the board of or the TPA board for presenting this to him. I'm glad to receive it, and then the handoff to Brian.
I am honored to be here on behalf of Dr. Murphy Thomas to receive this award. Thank you to TPA board, and all of the individual folks in this room. I was there with David when we shot the video that you'll see in just a moment, where Dr. Thomas gives his personal thanks before he left to travel abroad. And some of the discussions that took place as part of this video session were noteworthy and touching. Dr. Thomas talked about the many things that he's been involved in, not in a bragging way or in a boastful way whatsoever. In fact, for those of you who know Murphy well, you will find him to be quite the contrary, someone who is full of humility and understates his contribution to our profession. You know, I personally can say that Murphy has modeled things for me that few people could have. It's true that he has nurtured so many people in our profession on local, state, and national levels. He's contributed by serving in multiple positions on local, state, and national levels. And I've seen his handiwork all around us. And Murphy and I have made comments before about the fact that we work in a field where your work product may not necessarily be visible or tangible. And he's expressed concerns at times about the fact that he can't view his handiwork. And it's my opinion that if I look around this room and around our professional community in the state and beyond, you can see the products of his handiwork everywhere. So with that, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of Dr. Murphy Thomas. His message in moving forward for our profession in this state, by and large, has to do with us not only caring for ourselves, but learning to care for each other as a professional community as well. Thank you very much.